Hey everyone, my name is Siavash and I am working on this game called Rehabilitation. It's a first-person horror experience with a big focus on classic horror puzzle solving and everything that feels like old Silent Hill. Now, I originally got inspired by PT to make a horror game. I've always been a long-time fan of Silent Hill games, and after seeing PT I got really excited about this whole new game that's going to be worked on Kojima by, and we all know what happened to PT. So I took this upon myself as a good opportunity to put my game developing knowledge in work and make a really good horror experience and make it as scary as I can. So this is the starter area of the game. This is how the game starts. You will have a cutscene and then you will get transferred to here. The game, as I said, is first person. There's a big focus on puzzle solving, so things like item inspection obviously are mandatory. I got a lot of inspirations from games like Resident Evil 2, the remake, to have this item inspection menu with all the options down there, and you can just leave it or you can also pick it up. And I think this is a good segue to jump into another part of the game, which is the whole UI and the inventory. So if you press tab, you will open the pause/inventory menu, and there's the inventory. Now in this case, because it was a note, it will go into collectibles. So if you go to collectibles, here it is, note and tray. You can also get an actual text fit here, and as you can see, there are photos and cassette tapes. One of the other games that really inspired me to become a game developer was BioShock, and the way they left amazing voice recordings behind to explain the story of the game and do environment storytelling alongside the voice recordings really gave me this feeling of adding cassette tapes to the game.
July 25th, 1978. This is Dr. Actually, I shouldn't say my name in these. To be honest, I hope nobody finds these logs. I need to record them, otherwise I'm going to lose my mind worse than these poor people. 5 years ago, I joined a program I thought would look great on my resume. Now I just hope I can leave this place alive without any CIA agents on my back.
There's also a journal, which is always a good idea to add to your game. Obviously it's under work because there's nothing here, but one problem with games is usually when you leave a game behind and come back to it after a few weeks, you completely forget where you were and what you were doing. So this is a good idea to keep track of that. Also, if you miss anything, you can always jump onto here and remember what happened. It's a horror game that consists of dark rooms and hallways, and a flashlight is a necessity. And as you can see in the bottom right corner of the game, there's also a battery meter. Originally we didn't have this. Originally we just had a flashlight that you can use indefinitely, but we felt like sometimes the necessity of preserving your power on your flashlight really adds to the anxiety of the game. As you get to this end of this corridor, there is a electrical room which is locked. By this indication of a camera, it shows to you that there might be something you can do about it. Might be able to find a key or something. And at the end of this corridor, obviously another camera that is active, indicated by the red light, is an elevator. The main objective of this level is to get to the elevator and get out of this level. Alongside the back, this is an area that you were not supposed to actually get to during this test, but something horrific happened right before the test could start, so all the emergency logs were unengaged, and then you can access the back areas. These are the control rooms. These are the rooms that they will have you under watch all the time of how you would go through these tests and actually do them. This is another really big piece of this whole environment storytelling approach that I'm taking for this game. Extremely inspired by System Shock to rather tell the story via the environment rather than directly say it to the player. Another way of storytelling really effectively, I thought, would be to add, out of the notes, terminals that you can actually inspect. So here's one here. You can read different logs that have been written on these. This is very Fallout-esque, and other than just notes and passwords that you might be able to find on these computers, there's also control modules that I'm working on adding onto this, so you can control things like security cameras, open doors and close them, to be able to kind of manage, and if you can close the door to stop a monster from getting to you, that would be very, very helpful. There's also something else over here that my computer sometimes struggles to run, but I have a really rusty old computer. But we actually also have a security camera, and this is a live feed from all the other rooms and also the hallway that you can actually look into. The game has a big emphasis on making you question your sanity, making you question the reality of what you're seeing and what is even going on around you. So far for the monster of the game and the main enemy of the game, we've worked on this character called Abigail, and she is supposedly your girlfriend, love of your life that you just left behind, and supposedly killed her. The true fact though is that she is not actually real. She is a false memory in your head that has been put in by those scientists and doctors to make you think you have haunting, bad and tragic past. We worked on her character to look scary as we can, but quite classic scary as well. We obviously took a lot of inspirations from characters like Lisa from PT in terms of texturing and modeling. I think we've done a good job, but we're still working on the animation to make her look more alive and dead at the same time. As I mentioned, one of the points of the game is to make you question the logic of things and the events that actually happen. And for that reason, this is the place that you get to after you use that elevator. So obviously coming from somewhere that looked like a bunker, you get to something that looks like an apartment hallway. And this is where, if our funding is successful and if we can do some good voice acting, Oliver, the main character, is going to mention that this is his home. Again, as I mentioned, that is another one of the false memories that's been put in your head. This is not actually Oliver's home, this is part of the test, but Oliver believes that this is his home. You might recognize that this level is very PT-esque. We managed to go all the way out with this one, but we're going to still keep it as unique and original as possible. Alright, thank you so much for watching the very first devlog for Rehabilitation. I've never checked this game public before this video, and I was never sure that if this is going to be at all successful. I guess we'll see how the video will do, and if we'll get anyone that's actually interested in this game. My goal is to make an amazing experience that is extensive, that has a lot of depth to it, and that is not just goes for story but also the gameplay. I'm hoping to release a demo soon and even hold a Kickstarter if that is successful, so we'll see how that gets to that. Thank you again for watching and have a great day.